Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have intensified efforts, it seems, to reintegrate themselves into British public life, with reports surfacing in the Mail on Sunday today about strategies employed to rehabilitate Harry's image and potentially facilitate a return from exile back into royal life in the UK. And this development is not just a matter of personal narrative for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, but also a reflection of the broader dynamics at play within the royal family and the British media. According to the Mail on Sunday, Prince Harry has reportedly enlisted the help of top-tier public relations experts to revamp his public image, and this comes after a turbulent few years marked by the couple's exit from royal duties, the release of Harry's memoir Spare, and a series of high-profile interviews, including the opera one, that have portrayed the royal family in a negative light. And Ben Leo today on GBNews says that Harry has done more damage than the Duke of Windsor, and the article in the Mail suggests that the PR efforts are aimed at softening Harry's image, mending his public relations with the British public, and possibly setting the stage for a return to royal duties. GB News covered this. One shouldn't be greatly surprised. Ben Leo, who is a very affable presenter, covered the story, emphasising the Duke's return from exile could be brought to his exile could be brought to an end, and these PR moves hinted a possible reconciliation, and perhaps more tenuously, a reconciliation and a restoration of a role in the royal family. And Leo points out that while Harry and Meghan have found a degree of success in the United States, particularly in media philanthropy, there's a significant strain on their relationship with the UK, which these PR efforts aim to alleviate. And maybe Harry is in need of money. There's certainly those reports coming out, and maybe America has not welcomed Harry as enthusiastically as he and Meghan may have initially thought. There have been too many missteps. The failure, sacked by Spotify, the apparent failure in Netflix, and the cancellation of the contract in 2025, and the projection of an image of victimhood rather than an image of empowerment, and the leaking of stories. So over the whole of the Harry and Meghan thing is this question about whether or not they are invested in charity or whether or not they just need money. And I personally don't subscribe to the idea that they're committed to terrorizing the royal family. I think that the royal family has questions to answer, but not necessarily questions to answer in public. And I think the GB News panel this morning focused on Harry's comments about Prince William's hair loss. I think that is as absurd as talking about spitting images, exaggeration of King Charles's ears. The more important issue is that this has come out this is given added weight because of its timing. Today marks the 27th anniversary of Princess Diana's tragic death in Paris. Her legacy looms large in Prince Harry's life and choices, and her death remains a significant cultural and emotional touchstone for many in the UK. She herself faced significant public and media scrutiny, and her memory continues to evoke strong emotions in the UK and beyond. Harry has often spoken about his mother's influence on his life and his recent struggles with the media, his championing of press freedom and privacy, hacked off campaign with Hugh Grant, extraordinary bravery in pushing that issue forward, and a very good effort, and a very successful effort that he has made. The anniversary of Diana's death serves as a poignant backdrop, therefore, to the stories of the PR efforts on the part of the Sussexes, perhaps signalling a desire for Harry to reconnect with the public in a way that honours his mother's memory, and that I think the public would respond to. In a related but tangential story that underscores how financial pressures can influence public figures, Noel Gallagher of Oasis, and his reunion with his brother Liam after their long-standing feud. The reason? What is the reason? Well, it could simply be that Gallagher is facing significant financial demands because of his expensive and impending divorce. The potential reunion of Oasis would be a major event in the music world, akin to, well, not so great as Harry and Meghan's potential return to the UK. That would be astronomical. But it highlights how finance and personal circumstances can drive to unexpected decisions that have much wider benefit. So I think it's right for Harry and Meghan to contemplate a return to the UK. And the convergence of PR strategies, public sentiment, historical anniversaries. If now is the 27th anniversary of Diana's death, in 3 years' time it will be the 30th anniversary. That is a significant date. And Harry should be back here by then. Whether their efforts today will succeed in changing public perception and paving the way for Harry's reintegration into public life remains to be seen. But Harry and Meghan were assets to the royal family and were mishandled by the courtiers in the UK, and I think by their own PR people. There's a lot of advice which is being bandied around, and I think similarly the advice of courtiers in Kensington Palace and in Buckingham Palace to the King and to the Prince of Wales are not helpful, and have not been helpful over the last few years. This concept of being a part-time royal, being a full-time, this is a nonsense. This is an invented concept that somehow resonates with the media. Somehow the media have got on the backside of this particular horse and have ridden it to death. But it's not a traditional concept. A working royal, that is not a traditional concept. In fact, in so many ways, it's an oxymoron, isn't it? The point is, Harry cannot stop being a senior member of the royal family. He was born into that. And has he abandoned his duties? Yes. Whether he was forced to do so or whether he did it of his own free will doesn't make any difference. He was born into a particular entitled and a life that was entitled on the one hand. He is a prince, but on the other hand, it's a life of service to the crown. And he has walked away from that. And the only other person who did that, and he was reluctant to do it, was Edward VIII. And he lived effectively in disgrace. And he tried very hard to change the terms, but it wasn't possible. I think we can look back at that and we can say that was a mistake. And we need to get it right this time. And this is not only an effort that should be made by Harry's PR people, it's an effort that should be made by the PR people in the royal family at the moment, and by the courtiers, and by the senior players, the King, the Prince of Wales, Meghan and Kate, and indeed by Harry. There's a lot to be repaired, but reparation is better than further destruction. And the echoes of Princess Diana's life and legacy are likely to play a crucial role in how Harry's efforts to rehabilitate himself are received. Meanwhile, the potential reunion of Oasis serves as a reminder, does it not, of how personal and financial imperatives can lead to surprising and transformative decisions that have a public impact. But I would like to see Harry back. I think it would be a good thing. I'd love to know what you think.